Hi, welcome. Welcome back to our Thursday Mindfulness Zen. So we're going to continue our series of A Beginner's Guide to Zen, and I'm going to talk about the things that I found challenging, or kind of things which were difficult for me, or things which were an obstruction to my practice or distractions to my practice when I was starting off as a kind of fairly new meditator many years ago. And one of the things that I used to notice was that
Powering off.
I found myself worrying about things, worrying about little things which normally I would not worry about, but they appeared during my meditation. So I thought it might be useful tonight to talk about that a little bit. So how about we talk about worrying? So many of us worry, and some of us worry a bit more than others. But there are some people who hardly worry at all. So this meditation is meant to help those of you who would like to be more in control of your worrying, be able to sort of have less of a worry mind. So when we worry about something, it's generally two situations which arise. The first kind of thing that we worry about is something which is out of our control, like what grades are my teachers going to give me for that test, or will I get the job I interviewed for? That is really out of your control. You can't control that situation, no matter how well you've performed. Okay. Then there are other things which we worry about, but these things are within our control, like whether or not you'll be on time for an important meeting, or doing a good presentation to a bunch of important people the next day. So with these things which are largely within our control, it is relatively simple to deal with our worries, to kind of take care of our worries. I mean, if you don't worry about being late, then plan to arrive really early, maybe half an hour early before the meeting, and then find a nice cafe and just wait until you're ready to meet. Or if you worry about your presentation, then give yourself enough time to work on it, to polish it, to do trial runs in front of your friends or in front of the mirror until you're really happy and confident with it. So that kind of worry which is within our control, that we can do something about it. But then we also worry about things which we cannot control. And even though they're out of our control, we can't help but worry about them. And this worry comes up over and over again. Kind of like, well, when is my daughter getting home from her date? So what can we do? So when you sit in meditation, many thoughts will flow through your head. And some of these thoughts will be worrying thoughts, which will tend to repeat, like on an endless loop. You worry about this thing, it comes over again. You worry about it again. So this is where mindfulness or meditation training can be very helpful. It can help you catch these thoughts before they get out of hand, before they get out of control, before you spin into a loop of endless worry. Like, why isn't my daughter back home yet? Why hasn't she called? So what we do when we're sitting in meditation, we see this worry mind appear. See if you can catch it before it gets too out of hand. And then bring yourself back to your breath. But if you find yourself, you're really kind of not be able to control your worry, like maybe this is the 37th time that you're worrying about something, like why isn't your daughter called? Then you can make a mental note, worrying, and redirect yourself back to the sensation of your body breathing again, and ask yourself, this magic question: is this useful? Is this really useful? I mean, do you worry about your daughter once or twice? Yeah, okay, that's very normal. But then you keep on worrying. Does it help the situation at all? Is it useful to you? Or does it just make you feel completely stressed out? So ask yourself this question: is this useful? So when you mindfully train yourself in this manner, you will get better at catching your unhelpful worry thoughts, and then bring yourself back to whatever you're doing at the moment, or whatever is in front of you. So with more meditation training, the more you see your mental patterns like worrying, the better you become at not being sort of pulled around by these worry thought patterns. So our meditation will help to boost our self-awareness. So the next time that you catch yourself in a spiral of worry, you can ask yourself this magic question: is this useful? And if it's not, move on to something else. You don't have to make yourself worry until you feel kind of sick to the stomach. Okay, you can always do something else. Okay, so tonight we're going to practice that. So you're just going to practice meditating. But if you find some worries appearing in front of you, just make a mental note: worry, and return to your breath. Or if it gets very strong, then you can ask yourself this magic question: is it useful? Okay? Alright, so let's make a start. Find a comfortable, alert posture for yourself, but relaxed. Close your eyes, or open them slightly, gazing downwards with a soft focus. See if you can feel your breath, feel your body breathing. And see if you can follow the sensation of your breathing as you breathe in and breathe out at a normal rhythm. Don't have to change the rhythm of your breathing or anything like that. Just feel your body breathing. And whenever your mind gets distracted or runs off somewhere, realize that's totally normal. It happens to everyone. And then just gently bring yourself back to the sensation of your breath again, the sensation of breathing. And if you find, out of your many thoughts that go through your head, some worries appear, then just make a mental note: worrying, and bring yourself back to your breath again. And remember, if the worrying gets too intense and you find it starts to become too much, you can just ask yourself the question: is this useful? Is this useful? Okay, so let's try it. Okay, when you're ready, open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room again. So, thank you very much for your practice. So just to recap, two general kinds of worries. Worries about situation that we can control, then to to deal with our worry, we have to take action to those situations that we can control and do something about it. Then the other kind of worrying is about worrying about situations which are not within our control. Worrying about something that is out of our hands. Then what we can do with that is, when we find ourselves in that worry cycle, try to catch ourselves before it gets too overwhelming. We can say to ourselves, worry, 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 and then bring yourself back to the moment. Or if it becomes too much, you can also ask yourself this question: is this useful? Is this worrying useful? After you've worried about it for the 37th time, is it helping? Is it useful? If it's not, then move on to something else. Go back to whatever you were supposed to be doing. So if we can remember that, this mindfulness training helps us become more aware of our thought patterns, and then gives us more agency to be able to decide whether we want to be caught up in our thoughts, or we prefer to be living in the present moment. Okay? So thank you very much for your practice tonight, and please join us next week for another session of Mindfulness Zen. Good night.